Hello, everyone, and welcome to CineQuest video movie review of Moonfall. The movie stars Halle Berry as Joe Fowler and Patrick Wilson as Brian Harper. And you know Patrick Wilson from the Conjuring movies and Insidious and other films that he's come out in. It is directed by Roland Emmerich, and you might know that name from Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, all those disaster movies. This is who is directing this film. He was also involved in Independence Day Resurgence, which is garbage. 2012, Day After Tomorrow, which is based on the book The Coming Global Storm, which was written by Art Bell from Coast to Coast AM and Wheatley Strieber, who is more famously known for writing the book Communion, which was an account of his alien abduction. You can see where all the influences are coming from in this film whenever you do sit down to watch it. I would say open your mind going in to watch this movie, but also shut down your brain because there aren't any brain cells that you would need to watch this film. If you're going to go in with no expectations whatsoever, you may be surprised pleasantly or you may hate this movie. I didn't know too much about this film going into it, but I did have a good time regardless because these are the types of films that I do like. They're really out there. They're ridiculous. Disaster movies I enjoy a lot. Nothing says a good time like watching the earth getting completely destroyed. So in this film, there is a force or some kind of entity that we do kind of get a glimpse at the very beginning of this film whenever Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry, and another NASA astronaut are in space and doing some maintenance on something. I don't really know what. But we do get a glimpse of this particular entity that kind of comes in and pretty much messes up their whole mission. And the astronaut that not starring in this film, something happens to them. Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry basically are tried, I think. And I know Patrick Wilson takes the blame for most of it, but Halle Berry does not. Because we see later on, she has kind of moved up the ranks in, I think it's some kind of government official or NASA. I honestly don't remember. But Patrick Wilson pretty much is ashamed. His name and reputation are pretty much tanked when we go into this film. And we do have another character in this movie by the name of John Bradley, who plays J.C. Hausman. He's kind of, it seems that he is a janitor at a university, and he kind of Goodwill Hunting's his way into the department, and he seems like he is smarter than, basically, yeah, he is smarter than you would think, and he apparently knows a lot about the moon's orbit and whatever that means, and he's been following it for a long time, and he notices or gets information that tells him that the moon is out of orbit. And how he seems to know all this stuff, I have no idea. The person he wants to get in contact with is Brian Harper, again Patrick Wilson, he's speaking at a children's like little meeting where they talk about career day and stuff like that. And I'm not exactly sure why he's tapped. Maybe he's just the only person they can get a hold of. So that's why he is the person they go to. And the character John Hausman is a mega structuralist, whatever that means. Apparently there is a group of people that talk about certain things that don't happen to be natural occurrences. For instance, the moon. They consider the moon to be a structure that has been built by possibly another alien race, or maybe there's probably Nazis in there or something. Who knows? This movie takes those conspiracy theories and kind of runs with it. That's why I'm saying turn off your brain when you're watching this movie, because they just go through a lot of ridiculous things, and the characters themselves throughout this movie really don't mean anything. They kind of just come and go. You want to focus in on those three particular characters. Everyone else that comes upon the screen, just forget about them because they really mean nothing. That includes like the kids, Patrick Wilson's wife, her husband, the nanny, apparently, Halle Berry's nanny. Like, who are these people? We have no idea, but they just seem to play these particular roles that there is no backstory to any of them. So it's just weird to see how they play out throughout the movie, because they react in certain ways that you're not expecting, or it seems completely out of the character that they've played up until a certain point. This movie seems like a mishmash of other movies, probably video games, again, conspiracy theories. It seems to have like a little bit of Terminator in there, Armageddon, Arrival, the book 12 Planet by Zachariah Sitchin, and again, like I referred to earlier, the Hollow Moon Theory. I did watch that with one of our podcast contributors, Bryce, He's usually on the horror ones as well. He mentioned a production company that was involved with this film was Tencent production company. I have no idea who these people were, but apparently from what he told me, they're a Chinese they're a Chinese company that usually specializes in video games. There's been a bit of controversy with them, like kind of stealing certain, I guess, intellectual properties or stories to kind of make into their own games. That might make some sense into why this movie is just kind of a collage of different types of stories and narratives together and just mix into just one big mess. It's what it is. It is a big mess. But is it to me, it is an enjoyable mess. In fact, there was one scene where they're in a hotel room where a bunch of water kind of comes in, and basically it looks like a tsunami comes in and pretty much destroys a coast that they were at. They almost die, but yet they go back up into the hotel room and go to sleep. And then they get picked up afterwards by the government officials sent by, I think it was Halle Berry, I think. But regarding the hotel, that on the walls, there seems to be a carpet or a wallpaper that seems to resemble the carpet from the movie The Shining, which was directed by Stanley Kubrick, who allegedly filmed the fake moon landing. There's a story going around that Stanley Kubrick was the person that helped direct the moon landing and was the person who faked it on a sound stage. That is one of the theories going around. Who knows? I would need to rewatch it to kind of catch that. I'm not sure if this movie was that detailed, but could have been. Who knows? The destruction of the earth seems so ridiculous in this movie. Doesn't seem scientific in any way, obviously. How they're jumping, using the moon coming to earth and using the gravity waves coming to kind of like levitate the cars onto other structures that are disintegrating before our eyes. To get through any kind of terrain when the earth is being destroyed, make sure you're driving a Lexus, because this movie was all Lexus commercial. I mean, the Lexus was front and center. And then after watching the film, I'm over here watching YouTube or some kind of commercial, and I see a Lexus commercial with the scenes in Moonfall. This film seemed like it wasn't exactly sure what the focus was. Was it going to be the destruction of the earth, or was it going to be the mission to the moon? But they seemed to struggle keeping a balance between those two things. My overall rating for Moonfall, again, this is not a good movie, but I thought it was a fun movie. Don't go in expecting anything profound, anything that makes sense, anything closely resembling actual science, because none of that is there. Even the storyline, there's plot holes everywhere. There's inconsequential characters. It seemed fun to me at the time. I would suggest you be drunk while you're watching this. Wait for it to stream. I wouldn't go pay to watch this. Take back a few. Pick your poison. So my rating is a 6.5 out of 10 for the ridiculous narrative, over-the-top special effects, and the many plot holes and terrible science, terrible dialogue. But again, still a fun movie to watch, I thought. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who think this was bad. So that'll be it for this movie review of CineQuest. We have a few more coming your way. If you like this, please like and subscribe if you can. Okay, so what did you think about Moonfall? Tell me in the comments. Did you actually go watch it in the theater? Because, I mean, if you're telling me what you thought about Moonfall, you probably saw it in the theater. Share this with anyone. Tell your friends if you like this review. If my opinion means anything, because it really doesn't, but I enjoy talking about films, and I want to hear from you. What do you think about this movie? And as always, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. With climate change becoming a real problem in this world, make sure you're driving a Lexus, the only vehicle capable of maneuvering, the only vehicle capable of maneuvering a terrain, the only vehicle capable of maneuvering a terrain, the only vehicle capable of maneuvering the terrain of a world amid destruction. And if you can't afford a Lexus, you're fucked.